waste any time. Let's bring you our first matchup of today's Group B of the WardiTV Americas Open. To the top left-hand side, our purple Terran player from Sloth Esport Club. Give it up if you're cheering on Pokebunny. Or if you're cheering on the orange Protoss player in the bottom right, it is RotterdaM, aka Roddy. Give me just a moment, guys. I'm going to do a quick little bit of setup here. Is this thing going to be in the wrong place again? It is. Oh, god damn you. Let me set this up quickly, guys, because I think this will be quite fun to use and stuff like this. May as well use it as much as we can, so I just need to get this onto the right bit. Yep. Let's take me here. Right, we'll do hashtag Roddy versus hashtag Pokebunny. And you guys can vote for your players, hopefully in just a second or so. Let me just set the colors correctly for the colors each of these guys are playing. Add match, perfect. So that should be working now. I might just have to do a little bit of repositioning. Kaboom. No? Why is it not working? Why is it not working? There it is. It is working. Perfect. Beautiful. Alright, so you guys can hashtag in the chat, hashtag Roddy or hashtag Pokebunny to show your support of these players and show us who you want to see winning out here today. As you do see, Roddy is going to come in and start the day by finding that proxy factory. A couple more resubs in the chat as well, then just as we get this going. Fear Dragon with the tier 2 resub coming in for 21 months. Ravi, my man, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the 21 months of love. Says Roddy and Jon Snow fighting. And also we got Port coming on in with the 14-month resub with the Twitch Prime as well. How you doing, Port? Thank you so much. Port, the hero who has built this little hashtag system for us to use in the chat as well. So get those hashtags coming in. Hashtag Roddy, hashtag Pokebunny. I want to see who you guys are cheering on in this, because obviously Roddy, I think, may very well be the fan favorite, but I think Pokebunny is a relatively popular player as well in the NA scene. So interested to see how this one goes as we get set up and rolling. This probe up the left-hand side. Just going to have a little bit of a scatter around. Starport starting up from Pokebunny and getting ready to go. So nice to kind of initially find obviously the proxied factory. That's a nice way to slow down the initial build order of Pokebunny here, who himself is, slowed down his CC a little bit for this, etc. As we're going to be seeing that Starport can be finishing up in just a moment or so. So Starport is about to finish up. And we are just going to be seeing a fairly standard build to come out of this in the end. Actually, a Hellion or two going to come out. So it's going to be the Widow Mine drop of Marines alongside the Hellions coming in. And there's a little bit of a supply block here for Pokebunny. As Depot not quite done, nor the CC. That is going to slow down actually quite a lot of his unit production here. You can see this. The Hellion delayed, the Marine delayed, and the Medevac. So a lot of delays right from the get-go as Roddy. He sets up straight away into that Twilight Council. Blink is on the way out, and now a Robo Facility is starting to come on down here as well. So setting up into that. All of these bits and pieces starting to come on through. As Roddy is absolutely destroying it in the chat, folks. Everyone just going for the hashtag Roddy. Poor Pokebunny. Wow, poor Pokebunny. Alright, well, we'll keep an eye on how that changes. I'll leave it up for a little while in case anyone wants to throw some hashtag Pokebunny love. As we do see this Engineering Bay coming down behind the mineral line. A drop will come across the map then, of course, expecting this Widow Mine Marine drop to come across, and the second Hellion on its way out to try and poke around as well. It's a very common kind of combination of units here early. Let's see what Pokebunny can do with it as he comes across the map and looks to see what he can get up to. So straight down in towards the main base in the next few moments. We're going to be seeing the Blink upgrade still coming here for RotterdaM, as we do have the two Hellions will sit over to the right side. How will he split himself up then? He does have the Mothership Core in the main. That'll be what he'll look to use to shut down this kind of Widow Mine. And the Marines, of course, in the Medevac. And meanwhile, actually the Stalkers pull away from the Natural to help deal with this. So a lot of Stalkers here now, but it does mean that... Ooh, he's actually going to get the Medevac full of units. That's a huge deal. Widow Mine goes down too. So now he just has to minimize the damage he actually takes to these Hellions. 2 workers so far. That's not too bad, honestly. Especially considering he killed the full Medevac. That's actually a pretty big deal. 4 workers. I actually kind of like this for Roddy. He gets the Hellion, he gets the Medevac of units as well. So far, I'd say this actually went pretty well for him. Nice shutdown, very little lost, and of course he's got Blink up now, and he's going into that charge upgrade. I was just watching Roddy play against Raze on his stream as he was doing a quick warm-up game, getting ready for this matchup today, and he was actually looking pretty good in the PvT. Raze did beat him, but he was looking pretty solid going into kind of Blink, Zealot, and then he was followed up with Disruptors. Not sure if the Disruptors were kind of a thing of desperation or a thing of, you know, that he was actually planning to go for initially. Not sure exactly how Roddy plays at the moment. I haven't watched as much Roddy as maybe I should be doing, but interested to see what happens. You can see this Liberator coming down the right-hand side. Stalkers gathering together. Stalkers just moving into the center here, looking to see what's up. Liberator still over to the right-hand side. Now we've got some hashtag Pokebunnies coming in. Got some love coming through. He's starting to fight back. He's starting to fight back. Loving it. All right. Nice to see some fighting back. I love that. Pong on the stream in the chat. Hashtag Pokebun ... Wait. Hashtag Roddy. Loving it. All right, guys. Keep those hashtags coming in. We'll check back in as we continue on through. Marauding a couple of Marines. And these Stalkers moving around as well. See an Observer coming up to the top side of the map. Roddy just starting to spread himself out a little bit here. That obviously just the vision that it gives him is obviously going to be really nice as he goes into 1-1 upgrades again, playing into what really will be a very heavy gateway focused style here. Ooh, that probe runs back into the Liberation Zone just as the Liberator and Sieges. That'll be something which Roddy will be rather happy with as he pokes away at that Liberator for a moment or two. What's up, Poison? How you doing? Thank you for the host, and hello everyone from Poison's stream. Welcome to the WardiTV America's Open, day number 2, Group B here today. RotterdaM going to be playing alongside Pokebunny, Jon Snow, and Jig to see who will advance into the round of 8 of this tournament to be played over the weekend. Bio and a couple of tanks coming across over to the right-hand side here. Very aggressive 2-base play here from Pokebunny, still just on the 5 barracks and looking to apply a lot of pressure, but charges up. 1-1's about to finish, and I really feel as though Roddy, you know, he's not got a lot of tech, but he's got a heck of a lot of units here. As we've got Zealots gathering together, Stalkers too. They have Blink, they have Charge. 1-1's finishing, and it's kind of the setup you would kind of like against this, right? I mean, if he just backs away from those siege tanks a little bit, doesn't take too many shots from them, he's actually just going to Guardian Shield. He's just going to go for this. Here we go. Zealots will charge on in, and they'll start working their way through this bio instantly. The tanks will start to fall now as well, and the Zealots will continue to come forwards here. He's already gotten rid of the majority of Medivacs in the sky. Roddy just leaping on the opportunity to fight this. Might have to blink backwards now, though, and wait for another round of Zealots, but he did get rid of, again, a lot of those, well, the tanks, the Medivacs, and so it is pretty much just pure bio here, which isn't going to be too great at continuing to fight. Having to stim a lot, and obviously having lost a Medivac or two means that he hasn't got a lot of healing coming in either. Going to see this tank also going down here, and now the last Medivac has fallen also, so Roddy cleaning up quite nicely so far. So going to be seeing the, I think it's going back over to the right-hand side. Another scan just being dropped. Not a lot gained. Concussive shells now on the way from Pokebunny, as I really love this Wall Prism from Roddy coming across the map. Remember, Roddy just has to hold on here. He's playing 3 bases and going up to 4 against the 2. So if he just stays alive and survives, this gets better and better for him. His 2-2 upgrades are going to finish. And if he just gets a few units into this mineral line, well, God, that could be so deadly. As we do see Roddy still with an Observer out the front, is actually going to keep an eye on this Terran army. Where does Roddy warp in? He's actually warping in at home rather than aggressively across the map. He's going to now see the third CC on the way. That's definitely worth sending a couple of Zealots over to get that cancel and slow Pokebunny down so much right from the get-go. Man, if Roddy gets up to 2-2, this Terran army is going to really struggle to fight here. Roddy, does he warp those Zealots in? Yes, he does. And I do imagine towards the third base he'll go with those. It's possibly just goes in towards the natural. It's a decent possibility as well. Is also going to get some damage done. You know, it's the question of, do you want to kill off SCVs, or do you want to try and cancel the expansion? And I think here Roddy will say he's going to try and cancel or kill SCVs / shut down reinforcements. He's actually going to move forwards, Roddy. I'm not sure if he needs to be aggressive like this, coming down this ramp just seconds before his 2-2 finishes up. A lot of his Zealots are going to go down. Is this the right decision? Roddy's going to end up blinking away. Those last few Zealots will start to drop. He's still shutting down reinforcements. Just needs to make sure he still has a lot left at home. Man, look at the 2-2. Those Zealots against those Marauders are still working wonders. And Roddy, as he warps in more Zealots at home, still has these Zealots across the map, dealing some damage. Now this CC on the low ground is looking as though it will get a chance to finish up here. Roddy just needs a few more units now. 2-2 against just a +1 upgrade. He starts +3/+3, an Immortal, another Sentry on the way out. Zealots have made it all the way up into the main base. Pokebunny struggling to deal with this at the moment. His unit's heavily overstimmed on this side of the map as well. The Medivacs, because he keeps targeting them down, Roddy, there's not that many of them on the map, and so there's not a lot of healing left available after multiple fights for these Bioforces. And so Pokebunny finds himself pulling away on 3 bases. RotterdaM is looking very, very good in game number 1 of this best of 3. Gonna see Bio still gathering together. I'm just gonna be seeing these Medivacs coming in and healing stuff up. Just gonna see 2 Medivacs will load down to the left-hand side. I love these Zealots still in position, ready to charge forwards again. Hit the mineral line this time, maybe. Would be a nice way to do it. And again, just as Pokebunny moves out with the majority of his army, these Zealots start to charge on in, and SCVs, depots, all sorts will start to take some heavy hits. In fact, Pokebunny just starts to pull back around. His main army going to come all the way back to deal with this. We see these Zealots. They'll just pick off some reinforcements, but again, it's causing chaos as Widow Mines friendly fire down a whole bunch of SCVs as well. And this is looking very good right now. Roddy with his main army back at home, still looking pretty good as well. And you're going to see this Bioforce continue to work their way through those Zealots. So a couple more Zealots going to get dropped here. Aliens coming in and doing a little bit more also. Those SCVs, a couple of mules get back to mining. All those Zealots cleaned on up, and well, Roddy really is just expanding his lead in this game. The fact he's about to hit 3-3 against 1-1 is a huge upgrade advantage. He's going to get into his Colossi tech here now shortly too. He's not allowing his opponent to kind of get away with any drops or anything. He saw this drop coming, and so he's left a few Stalkers here to defend. We've seen this Medivac coming up towards the top side. I'm just going to see a few units just starting to unload here. A few more Zealots going to run in towards the 3rd base as well. I'm just going to see a few SCVs starting to go down. So a few SCVs dropping here right away. A few Marines getting picked away at as well. So, again, I mean, it's just Roddy stopping this army from attacking and just buying himself more time. Pokebunny is just going to leave the game right then and there. That's GG. And hashtag Roddy, or you can hashtag Pokebunny, depending on who you want to see winning this series. Let us know who you're cheering on. As to the top right-hand side, our purple Terran player. He's down by a game. Give it up if you're cheering on Sloppy Sports Club Pokebunny. And to the bottom left-hand side, our Orange Brothers player, the heavy chat favorite. Give it up, guys, if you're cheering on Roddy. Just setting up, getting ready to go. Let's see if you have Pokebunny coming down to the low ground and just starting to have a quick wander around on this natural expansion. Just getting ready to expand here. And what's interesting, of course, is this is coming in before a barracks. And so we are going to be seeing the command center first as the build order choice here from Pokebunny. Getting this set up and ready to roll. We've seen the barracks coming down as a follow-up, and we'll see where Pokebunny takes this. As Roddy just himself setting up into what would look to be indicate Nexus Core, but a little bit late to actually throw down his Nexus here. So actually Gate Core before the Nexus. A little bit more of an aggressive setup here. The Core just a little bit faster than usual, and maybe that will allow him to do something slightly more aggressive in this game. Slightly faster Stargate, or something along those lines is a possibility. See this probe coming across the map. As you're going to see this SCV also looking to scout. Both players just looking to see what's happening in the early stages of game number 2. Again, set up and looking to see how things go. Obviously, the CC first leads into 3 racks. Then generally the double gas comes down. You build into a factory and engineering bay at a similar time. Stim pack comes up and all the rest of it. So getting this set, getting this rolling. Again, 3 barracks in the main base at the moment here. This SCV just moving backwards and forwards, and a couple of Marines getting set to go. Why crazy? Why would it be crazy if Roddy run? I just think it's, no one, even, it's just when Roddy plays in a tournament, you don't, even though he plays on ladder all the time, we know Roddy's a pretty good player, right? It just is fun to see him win, in a tournament setting, because he doesn't play in tournaments all the time, and You know, it is a bit of a different mindset. It is a different bit of a skill set. Obviously, I mean, he used to be a pro Warcraft 3 player, right? But you guys get what I'm saying. It's fun to see him play in a kind of a bit more of a competitive setting than just on the ladder, just grinding away on his stream. It'd be cool to see him coming out and maybe picking up a series win the other day. Just getting ready to rumble as we see the blink is coming up from Roddy once again. Not going to change much up just yet. Obviously, Pokebunny definitely will with the way he's already opened. It's a bit different. Obviously, I mean, possibility of going on 2 base once again. This time he could throw down the third CC2. So he's got a couple different options as to how he takes this. Engineering Bay coming up, and I'm going to see if Pokebunny can just tighten up his build order a little bit. And there was a few engagements in that last game. I think Roddy was maybe just a little bit too eager, but it worked out for him. And getting rid of the tanks and getting rid of the medivacs meant the Bio just couldn't keep on trading because the reinforcing zealots were just going to be enough to keep it pushed back when the Bio wasn't going to be able to heal up again. And we've seen the Robo facility just over halfway done right now. Factory starting to build up in the main base. Stimpack is coming down this barracks and a couple of extra reactors finishing up. Again, this is exactly everything we expect it to be off of the CC first opening into multiple barracks follow-up to get all of this Bio working away and getting rolling here. The depot towards the upper left-hand side of the base to keep track of what's going down. Going to see a few Marines is going to sit on the natural and a single pro just sitting on the watchtower top left-hand side. A few Marines will move on forwards. Robo Bay currently on the way up from RotterdaM. A couple of gateways on the way down too. And we are just going to be seeing the +1 attack upgrade. Stimpack coming through here for Pokebunny. You're going to see the reactor and the starport coming up for him as well. Again, everything's still standard and simple. He will push forward a little bit of a timing attack with his Stimpack here, but without any medevac support, etc. It's unlikely to do a lot, especially if Roddy has Blink and he has this Observer to see this coming in as well. It's just going to be sitting the Probe. Does get picked off, so Probe does go down. Marine's still coming over. A scan ahead of time. Roddy has the Mothership Core moving into position though, and that's obviously Pokebunny's issue. Catches a second Probe that was just out on the map, but Roddy won't be too worried about that. Going straight into Colossi this time around, so a bit of a different playstyle. He is going to have that Blink and now charge, but again, no double forge this time around, so a little bit of a different way to play. Straight to Colossi, extended thermal lance on the way up, and he begins to set up with this here. We're going to see what he can do. I mean, it's similar, but it is very different as well. So we've seen the Marines gathering together right now for Pokebunny, and just going to see, obviously, the big power of this build from him is that he will have a lot of bio very quick, just because of the speedy build up into free racks, etc. So we'll see when these medevacs come out and he starts to push across the map, we'll see just how much he's going to be able to get done here, perhaps. See those medevacs coming through, and again a few Marines just gathering up together. A couple of Roaders again down the left hand side, and those medevacs going to be joining up here again in a couple of moments. So this is the thing, Roddy is playing a kind of a much safer playstyle where he doesn't take the third as early, and so he just sits defensively on 2 bases, and that will help a lot here in terms of defending against what Pokebunny's doing. This larger bio army would be very difficult to hold off in multiple locations spread out across 3 bases, but because Roddy's focusing on 2 bases for now, he is able to just sit on his natural, and Pokebunny will have a much harder time really finding an entrance and really finding a way to get something done. Those 2 medevacs do load up, and they're going to head in towards the main base here, so that's where Roddy will have to start splitting up his units just a little bit. Mothership Core's in the main though, so he's not going to have a lot of issues right away. Just obviously doesn't want to pull his entire army into the main to clean up this drop when there's still going to be the other army kind of on the low ground. Stalker's coming in, a few zealots actually getting cancelled. This drop's starting to do a little bit too much perhaps. Picking off a few units, and now the Mothership Core doesn't quite go down. There it is, the split of units coming in, and Roddy just with a couple of force fields can keep himself safe. This was nice by Pokebunny though, picking away, dealing some damage, getting himself into a bit of a lead just by picking away at some bits and pieces. The overcharges have now been used up, and Roddy is going to start to struggle to get out onto a third base if he can't find a way to push through here sometime soon. Getting that bio again ready to go. Liberator will siege up as well. This medevac of Pokebunny Going to be coming in towards the main base. Scan coming down to Pokebunny, just looking to see what's up, keeping track of things. A couple more Zealots going to warp on in. Actually, Roddy going to blink forwards. Is this the fight he wants to take? Well, he does have Triple Colossus. That does go a long way. He will get rid of the Liberator. Some Zealots maybe want to pull back here before they go and just go and keep giving themselves up. The thing is, Pokebunny can't actually really run any further away. And Roddy, oh, he does need to actually fight this. He doesn't want to kind of move command around. He's actually move commanding this at the moment. Well, we're going to see another overcharge to help pick away at these units in the main base. The Squatside in the end did start to pick away at those bits and pieces. And, well, again, Roddy does push this back in Pokebunny. Loses just a little bit right now. Well, Bio from Pokebunny coming over to the right-hand side here. Looking to have a little bit look to see what else is happening. You can see this Fusion Core on the way up as well from Pokebunny now. Another Starport getting ready to go into Liberator range. Here's Roddy. I guess this game, the upgrades are much more even, but Roddy has got this powerful setup of, well, Colossi against currently no Vikings. Okay, a couple Libs will do the job to some extent, but it is kind of still a nice composition for Roddy to be at. The only thing Roddy does have to look at, I think, is a third Nexus. He can't really delay that for too much more than he already has done. You know, right now, Pokebunny is sent up into his own third base, but Roddy needs his own at some point soon. He's actually maybe just going to go all in, though, on 2 bases. I mean, he's got 8 gateways, so maybe he could just warp in with the Temple Archives finishing a few Archons, and that could maybe be enough of a buffer. You know, add in something that's just got a little bit of extra tankiness in all of this. Well, we're going to see immediately he's going to find himself a Liberator at least. Doesn't quite get the 2, but getting the 1 is already a big start to this. A couple of High Templar now warping in. 3 Liberators set up over here. There's a lot of that Bio out of position, just slightly, but Roddy just long distance mine with the few workers that were oversaturating his main and natural. Still this setup of Protoss units. Going to be looking to push on forwards, and here we go. He's just going to push into this. He actually blinks top side. Well, I guess actually there was a couple of the Liberators, so the Libs do go down pretty swiftly. Roddy kiting backwards. He gets some more Zealots coming through. He needs to keep the Colossi alive, though. Whereas the splash damage dealers of this army, he cannot afford to lose them, but he's already lost 1. More Stalkers coming through. We are going to see the Stalkers starting to target down these couple of Libs. 10 SCVs have gone down during this. Pokebunny is just about holding on, but really it is just about, and the Warp Prism going down. Well, that's obviously a huge pick-off here. Another Liberator will go down, and this one unsieged. He can't really blink after it because the Marauders are coming out, but he will try and he will get it. But now the Colossi are kind of just out on their own. Roddy is just going to have to fight this. I mean, there's nowhere he can really go, right? It doesn't have a Warp Prism to back away with. 1 Colossus actually survives, 73 supply apiece. It's a very close game between our 2 players right now. A very close game between our 2 players. This Bio Force from Pokebunny coming down the ramps in between the natural and third. Going to be seen, well, I mean, the thing is, Roddy still doesn't have a third base, right? So he still isn't really mining. Pokebunny, a little bit oversaturated, could be getting more out of the worker count that he has, 55 to 46. I'm just going to be seeing Roddy just still hasn't invested into that Nexus. New Colossus coming up. I think he'll just go for round 2. This time around, though, look at this. I mean, we see Libs on the way up, Advanced Ballistics 2-2. It's a lot of heavy investments from Pokebunny, and maybe, just maybe, Roddy can find a way to, you know, punish that. A little bit of greed that's starting to come into play. Maybe he does just save up. I mean, he's just warping in so many units. He's not saving up for third Nexus, not at all. He's getting a Warp Prism on the way. It looks as though he will just go across the map and try and end this game in the next few moments. He has to end it before Liberate. He doesn't really have a way to deal with a mass amount of Liberators. 3 Liberators, 4 Liberators he can deal with a blinking set of Stalkers, a couple Archons. Beyond that, it becomes very, very difficult without Tempest, etc. And so that's what Roddy, especially with Lib range as well. So Roddy needs to end this now before 2-2, before that Liberator range comes into play as well. But now just a Marauder going down. The Libs will start a setup. With the Libs set up here, Roddy has access up into the natural, and that could go a long way. The Warp Prism not here just yet. I like this. The Zealot's just going to go up into the natural. It forces a bit of an awkward fight where obviously the Terran player has to start responding to the fact there is a few Zealots going up there. And it's maybe just the opportunity that Roddy needs to pick the Terran player apart a little bit. I like that move. He's warping in Stalkers now. Unfortunately, he lost a Colossi in his last little fight. I like this, though, working around the Liberator positioning. And it's something Pokebunny recognizes, obviously, repositioning. Oh, the Widow Mines, though, will go off on this arm, but the Libs go down. There's still a Colossi and an Archon here. And Pokebunny, can he hold on? Reinforcements coming out, but Roddy will make a charge up into the natural expansion. Zealots leading the charge here. SCV start to pull in. 2-2 is what, 20-ish seconds away? It's really not far. and that will be one of the main differences. We actually even see the mothership core coming across the map. Roddy is throwing absolutely everything he has at Pokebunny right now, as we see the time bomb coming down to try and slow these units. It might just make a bit of a difference here. He just needs anything he can get. Roddy, he's warping into Zealots. Even those would help at this point, as we see the Medivacs are fighting and healing. The Stalkers are trying to keep on fighting. The Bio is slowly falling, but is it falling fast enough? Roddy, he's going to lose the Colossus, and as he loses the Colossus, I think this attack is going to be over. What a game number 2, as Pokebunny is only just holding on, but now he has 2-2 upgrades. Now he has the army supply advantage, he has Liberators, and he does have a 4 CC to fall back on. Roddy just didn't quite have enough. But what a game number 2, what a position we got into there, and Pokebunny. Game 3 of this series starts out on Interloper. Which of these players will be taking the first win of the day? After this, we got 5 more best of 3s to come your way as well. We got RotterdaM going to play against Jon Snow, followed by RotterdaM against Jig. Then we're going to go in towards Jig against, I believe, Pokebunny, Jig, Jon Snow, and then Jon Snow, Pokebunny to wrap up the day. It's a tough group. It's a difficult group here in Group B of the competition. We'll be looking to see how things continue on in game number 3. Obviously, still just our first matchup of the day. 2 players will be advancing out of this group and joining us in our quarterfinals of the WardiTV Americas Open. And of course, you guys can support this event as well on Matcherino. !Matcherino in the chat will bring you guys to the Matcherino page, where you can use the coupon code WTVAO. That will add $1 to the prize pool for free. All it takes from you guys is to head on over to that Matcherino page, use that coupon code. It takes 20 seconds, it costs you nothing, and it supports this event. If you want to add some dollars of your own from your own pockets, you're more than welcome to as well. All the money goes to the prize pool, and it all gets given out to the players. No cut is taken by us or anything along the way like that, so you guys can check all of that out on !Matcherino in the chat. We'll give you the link that you need to check all the rest of it out. Bottom right hand side, our Purple Terran player from Sloth Esport Club tying this series up 1-1 is Pokebunny. For some reason I'm having some real issues with my FPS today. Just this evening, it actually was completely fine when I was casting earlier. Top left hand side. So we got orange Protoss player, Roddy. Game number 3, and it is all on the line then, as Roddy will, for the 3rd game in a row, open Twilight Council. We've seen him open and blink both times, but with very different follow-ups. The double forge, and just playing kind of mass gateway units versus the kind of faster Colossi, and man, did he nearly make it work out there in that last game. It was so close. So now he just may be able to make it work, but I mean, it was really close, right? It was super close towards the end. Moving grenade does come down. The probes do get blasted around just a little bit. And the Stalker, going to be moving over to the right side, does actually catch that Reaper. A nice little pick off there. No further information to be gained from Pokebunny, but he did see the Twilight Council already. And he did do a nice little bit of damage here and there as well. And we've seen that blink coming up then. We do see the starport building in the main base too. There's going to be a medevac now on the way out. And a tech lab building up here on the factory. The CV comes on over and towards the natural. And again, just a few Marines I wouldn't mind here joining up for Pokebunny, again ready to go. Robo facility currently on the way up from RotterdaM as well. Very similar to, again, what we've just seen previously in this matchup. Again, Wolfgate just being chrono boosted out for the moment, so really, again, nothing too surprising as you see the build from Pokebunny is one that's maybe a bit more talking about. The Wouldn't Mind drop going in towards the siege tanks, and a siege tank push could be the way that Pokebunny looks to follow up here in this second game. By the way, Roddy's still a heavy chat favorite. 80% of the votes going his way from the chat. Again, hashtag Roddy, hashtag Pokebunny to support your players. The Stalker's already in position and overcharge as well, and just didn't quite target that medevac maybe soon enough with the Stalkers to actually pick up the kill there as the overcharge came down as well. Liberator setting up from Pokebunny. We're going to be seeing the siege tank on the way up as well now. Second barracks going to come on down too, and a couple of SCVs off for wandering. I was going to say maybe they're just off on holiday, but actually the Marines and tanks coming across makes it look a little bit more as though he's going to set up some bunkers and so on to help him defend. Now the question is, if Roddy sees this soon enough with Blink, maybe he could jump on this and do something about it. Problem is, it's 10 Marines, a bunker building, and obviously the Widow Mine there, the siege tank, it all adds up very quickly. And we do have the tanks coming in. And you liberate here now too, so Roddy has to be a little bit careful about it. We're going to see that second gateway building up on the natural, and well, Widow Mine just pushing a bit further forwards. Just have an observer. Yes, he should be able to get rid of the Widow Mine. Oh, he blinks away in time anyways. Okay, okay. But man, there's a little bit of a siege up that's coming down for Roddy, and he's going to have to find a way out of this sooner rather than later. The longer he waits, the tougher it gets for him, as the Terran will continue to build bunkers and all the rest of it. You'll see this, this balance starting to go down. These Stalkers need to be careful. They'll blink back once again. So Zealots are warping in, but he still can't really afford to send them forwards. And now another siege tank. How does Roddy break out of this position? It really isn't going to be a pretty one. The Nexus now under fire, and it's dropping pretty quickly. I think Roddy has to go sooner rather than later. Charge is only 70% of the way done, though. And that's something he really wants to kind of wait for here, but can he afford to? He's threatening to move in. Can he do something to buy some time? Well, here we go. The Immortal will take the charge, and we are going to see Stalkers blink and get rid of the Liberator initially, but the Immortal has gone down already, and Pokebunny, I think, is just in too good a position, perhaps. Or is he? Tank will go down, and there's still Zealots left over. The Overcharge is very far back. Extra Stalkers. He just has to break through the bunker, and it looks as though Roddy will actually be able to do that. Now he's got some Marines to finish cleaning up, though. Charge coming in for further Zealots, though. And that will definitely help him out, too, as he does still have the blink to chase that medevac away. Okay, he won't get the kill, but able to test it out, and he will get a couple of Marines as he goes. Roddy does actually hold on in this. He actually has a lot of money left over as well, so he can start to spend that. See 5 racks coming up, but after a third CC, so it's obviously looking to be a Pokebunny moving in towards the free base play overall here. Setting up and getting ready to go as we just have the third CC going to drop in a moment. There's the third Nexus on the way up for Roddy as well, with the double upgrades on the way. That's something worth mentioning again. Roddy will have the double upgrade, so moving forwards, his army will have that little bit of extra strength from it. It's very similar to that first game as well, where the upgrades really did do a lot to keep Roddy alive. He's adding extra gates now as well. That's the one thing I think is kind of a weakness for him at the moment. The fact he only has 3 gateways when he's playing, again, double forge, he's going to be so reliant on just pure gateway units with those upgrades for a little while here. So he needs to make sure he keeps these coming in, as we do see a few Marines and Marauder so coming over to the left side as well. He's getting those set up and rolling. Yeah, I'm just going to be seeing some bio set up towards the third base and continue to set up into this, and seeing what else is going to happen. 2-2 upgrades coming in right now for Roddy as well. Still just those upgrades pouring on through, and it really will be one of the strengths of Roddy here. I mean, the big difference from this game and the last game, and then as we were comparing the upgrades, is obviously the fact there's a third CC from Pokebunny, and so he's got a lot more eco behind his pushes. He's got a lot more ability to kind of rebuild his armies as well, and he's also going into Widow Mines a lot sooner this time around, which I think is a nice switch up compared to what we saw in, which is a nice little switch up compared to what we saw in the first game. I think the Widow Mines are actually going to be really nice against all of these Zealots. Right now, 2-2 isn't finished, so for Roddy, it's a lot of this about buying time. Seeing how much time he can buy and see if it's going to be enough. One thing I'm a little bit worried about for the Widow Mines is maybe if they splash onto the bio, that's one thing which could go very wrong here for Pokebunny, of course. Another overcharge is net. Pylon starting to go down. Stalkers are going to blink! Well, he does soak up a lot of these Widow Mine shots on the Stalkers. He does friendly fire a little bit too. Zealots will now pull back. I think it's okay. I think he's going to clean it up. The Widow Mine's going down as well. Liberator is starting to come on in, and that's something which Roddy will have to get a few more Stalkers to help him deal with. 2-2 still coming up for him. 30 army supply down. But this army is still very effective if he can keep the tech of his opponent low. That's the issue. With 2 Liberators, it becomes very, very difficult. A few more Zealots warping in now as well. A few more Zealots just getting set up, ready to roll in a moment or so. And well, another Zealot here for Roddy on the third base. Fire still pushing forwards. We're going to see one Stalker picked off, and a little bit of back and forth. A Pylon going down too, and it does feel as though maybe Pokebunny does have just a little bit too much starting to come on forwards. We're going to see Roddy going to try and blink into this. I mean, the Widow Mines don't really splash on any Terran units at all, though. So it looks as though Pokebunny is going to be able to take the first series of the day. GG's. He got a little bit stronger as the series went on. I think he sort of